County Wetland Board will come to order, and we'd like to welcome everyone. Anyone wishing to speak to any of the applications, please indicate that so you can be heard. I'd like to start off by introducing the staff. To my left over there behind the computer is Crystal Way. Next to her is Glenn Rowe. Olivia Hall, Director of Planning and Land Use. Kelsey English over here. Codes Compliance Officer. Alex Green over here, Code Compliance Officer. And DMRC staff, Ms. Payne. With that, I'd like to call the first, and recognize our alternate member, Martha Little, which is in the audience. With that said, I'd like to call the first applicant forward, Mr. Paul Fox. The Fox revetment. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Joseph Scott, P.O. Box 315, Kilmark, Virginia 22482. I am the agent for the applicant, Mr. Fox.
Okay, I'll read the ad. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Paul
the
Fox
same way.
and Kerry Joseph Scott is requesting permission to install 135 linear feet of riprap revetment, 20 linear feet of riprap spur, and 60 linear feet of breakwater extension and increased breakwater height along the beach drain fields and eroding shoreline on the Chesapeake Bay located off Virginia State Highway 695, Windmill Point Road on Island Pines Drive, tax map number 41-1H, BMRC number not yet assigned.
It got one now.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 0719.
Okay. Ma'am, sir?
It's 0719 is what BMRC ended up assigning that, 0719.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so Mr. Fox came to me a couple weeks ago. He obviously has a pretty significant problem down there. And with the drain fields being adjacent to his property and, of course, the beach erosion that's occurred there, he filed a permit early on so that we could get it in the door to try to get it on this meeting, since what he has there didn't qualify for an emergency permit. So we're trying to expedite things as much as we could. I came back in and redo the drawings for him to give him more detail. And essentially what he's going to do is basically put a revetment on the area of sand right there in front of his house, kind of drawn almost literally a line in the sand as to where the erosion kind of needs to stop instead of allowing it to come up towards the house. This area behind the breakwater, I think, did I send those pictures in when I sent the application in?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was a huge, beautiful beach there, had dune grass, had the whole 9 yards, and it just got annihilated. So that's what it looks like now. But prior to that, all of that area had been built up. And pretty much at this point, Mr. Fox, I think, has been scrambling over the last 5 or 6 months to try to do something to get it secured. So thought we would go ahead and apply for a revetment up against the eroded beach area, which is similar to stuff that we've done further north of there. I don't know if y'all remember Dave Clemay back in 2018. He had to do the same thing just because he had a big beach, but at some point it just got completely washed away and he had not much other choice to do that or build a huge breakwater system. Mr. Fox already has a breakwater, so we're going to try to increase the size of that stone and raise the height of it to hopefully recreate the beach that's there. But the backshore revetment right now is the #1 priority to take care of what is happening to the drain fields to the north and to the property right adjacent to his house. I think we're like 40 feet away now to the high tide line, so I guess if you have any questions.
Well, it definitely needs to be something to be done, and right away, because the if that's, coming across that river, you never know what's gonna happen next and when we're gonna have another bad storm. And, Olivia and Kelsey and Alex, this emergency permit thing that we have in Lancaster County, would that apply to this?
We approached VMRC about viewing it as an emergency permitting process and doing it after the fact. And Khadijah and I worked together on that, and she ran it up the chain, and they wanted us to go ahead and permit it before the work was done. So that's why we are permitting it now and not after the fact.
My suggestion would be permit it and let them get started as soon as they can.
Agreed.
And I don't have anyone else on the board, if you have any comments, but my suggestion is the sooner the better, because it's a lot of his dwelling, his septic fields, many things are involved in this project and being right on that water.
Excuse me, Joey, you alluded to a project further north done in 2018, which had similar conditions to this?
Yes.
And how effectively has that worked out over the past 6 years?
The revetment that they put there is fine. I mean, it's sealed everything off. It could have possibly contributed to some of the issues, and I have to always preface, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a wetland scientist, nor am I an engineer, but it could have possibly contributed to some of what's happening along here in terms of sand. But this whole property's been that way since it's been put there. I mean, they're robbing each other, no matter what you're doing, and at some point, you've got to do something. And Mr. Fox, actually, to me, it's kind of ironic that the shore just 2 lots north, breakwater was so much more effective than this one. I mean, it almost makes no sense to me because it's not much taller than this one, but that's just what happened. So hopefully he can do the backshore revetment and regain the beach eventually by extending or by increasing the height of the breakwater. But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to just needing to protect that portion of the property. I mean, no one really wants to give up that kind of beach, but Dave was the same way. It was like, I have to do something or I'm going to have a big problem. And Paul's problem is even worse because his house is so close to what's happening. So, and it's a ranked spot. I mean, over the last 100 years, the shoreline was 800 feet further offshore in 1930 than it is now. So
It's all mobile.
it's active.
Yeah, thank you.
Y'all have anything you'd like to say?
I just want to comment, thank you, Madam Chairwoman, that Lancaster County has a beaches and dunes ordinance for coastal sand dunes. And one of the criteria says that the board shall grant the permit if all the following criteria are met. The anticipated public and private benefit of the proposed activity exceeds its anticipated public and private detriment, and the proposed development conforms with the standards prescribed in the Code of Virginia. So I feel like these conditions are met with this application.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Anyone in the audience?
There you go.
If not, I entertain a motion that we pass this. Please.
Yeah, I'll move to approve the project as submitted.
Second. Okay, it's been moved in second. All in favor, signify, raise your right hand, please. Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joey.
And Livia will, and
Yeah,
Kelsey and Alex will work with Joy so they can get started, because we never know what this weather is anymore. I mean, you can be sitting in the beautiful sun, and all of a sudden you're looking out and it's pouring rain. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Next on the agenda is, do you say that Donald
Yes, ma'am.
McGonigal?
McGonigal.
Okay, and Chair Joey Scott is representing it.
Yes, ma'am. Joseph Scott, P.O. Box 315, Kilmarnock, Virginia 22482. I'm the agent for the applicant.
I'll read the ad, please. He's requesting permission to install 66 linear feet of riprap abutment along the failing bulkhead and replace 2 failing timber groins with 2 armor stone, excuse me, low-profile groins, 48 feet channel wood of mean high water, located on Mosquito Creek, located off Virginia State Highway 700, Mosquito Beach Lane, on Stingray Point, tax map number 39A-5-1, VMRC number 24-0460. Go ahead, Mr.
Yes, so we're basically replacing a bulkhead that has passed its useful time. So the stone's going to be towed in behind the bulkhead that's there now, because all behind it is eroded, so they don't need to go out in front of it. There's no use to go through all that. And then the 2 groins that are there are going to be covered, going to be probably broken off and covered with armor stone. Since it's armor stone, it's going to have a wider base than the general permit allows for BMRC, so we'll have to get a BMRC permit, but that's that. So just replacing what's gone with stone. Yeah, there you go. Connect into there's riprap on both sides of it, so it's going to tie right into that.
Does anyone have any concerns about this application?
No, ma'am.
Any of you all? How about you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. How about the board? Does anyone on the board wish to?
No problem.
Okay, well, then I entertain a motion on this.
Move the project be approved as presented.
Second, please.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, signify by, okay, 5-0. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Sake. Oh. Go ahead, Joey.
And then the next permit is going to be Otis
I'm sorry.
for John Randall.
State your name for me.
Otis Copper with Eco Construction.
Okay, I'll read the ad. Donald, whatever.
We're on John Randall.
Yeah, it says you didn't carry Joey Scott, but.
And no, we're on John Randall.
Randall.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. I'm up one too many. Okay, John Randall, he's requesting permission to, construct 245 request permission to repair 173 linear feet of existing riprap abutment located off Virginia State Highway 768, Chesapeake Drive, tax map 27C-1-41, DMRC number 24-0554. Go ahead.
He has existing riprap that's kind of sloughed down and failed. House is pretty close. He's got a pretty steep bank. I think the reason that we even need to be here is because we'd like to take up all of the existing riprap, put down new filter cloth, and then replace put back the existing with some additional riprap. So there is a little bit more of an encroachment, but only just what we need to cover the cloth.
No one have any comment?
BMRC has no comment.
Two?
No comment.
Anyone in the audience? Anyone on the board?
No.
Then I'll entertain a motion, please.
I'll move to approve the project as submitted.
Is there a second? All in favor, signify by, okay, 5-0. Okay.
You're good.
Good. Thank you all.
Who is the next one? Peter Bryan. State your name for the record.
Craig Pelabinski with Bay Shore Design.
Okay,
I'm the agent representing this request.
I'll read the, Peter Byron, Cedric Forteps, and Elson Porcelain, and care of Bay Shore Design, is requesting permission to construct 6 48 linear foot replacement low-profile timber groins with 2 20 linear foot timber spurs per groin. Install 600 cubic yards beach nourishment within groin cells and plant 6,000 square feet of wetland plantings located off Virginia State Highway 650, Fleets Bay Road, on McSwain Road, tax map number 29-55G, 55F, and 55H, BMRC number 24-0664. Go ahead, Craig.
Okay, what we're proposing here is 3 property owners and close to 500 feet of shoreline that's bulkheaded with 6 48-foot low-profile timber groins spaced equidistant about 72 feet, about 1.5 times the length of the groins. They were permanent installed around 2010. Some of the groins have some holes in them. I guess worms had gotten to the sheet piling, so they are definitely deteriorating, even though they've only been in for 14 years. And the bulkhead is subject to some exposure. It's been there longer than the groins, I'm going to say about 20 years. So the concern of the property owners, they want to try to maintain the beach in front of the bulkhead so that they wouldn't have to go back and replace the bulkhead in the near future. So what we're proposing here is to replace all 6 timber groins in kind, 48 feet in length and low profile design. But we've also added 20-foot spurs on each groin, on each side, as seen on the plan there. Some are spaced 36 feet off from the bulkhead and tapering down as you go north, 30 and 24 feet off the bulkhead. And in between the spurs and the existing bulkhead, we're going to nourish the entire beach with 600 cubic yards of beach quality sand and plant it with Spartina alterniflora and Spartina patens. The planting of the alterniflora will be primarily behind the landward extent of the spurs up to about the mean high water elevation, and then the back shore of the nourishment will be all Spartina patens. The groins there now are functioning. You have more of a sand buildup on the south shoreline because the sand movement is primarily from south to north, but they are working as far as keeping what's there. They haven't lost much sand in the last couple of years, but again, the groins are deteriorating, and they've had to patch them with some plywood, pressure-treated plywood, so it's only a matter of time before they're eventually going to go, and then that sand would eventually erode away. So we want to try to stabilize that. And that's pretty much it. We've notified the adjacent property owners. We don't have any negative comments from them. As you can see, it is the typical profile of the replacement groin, tall pile at the end, the market navigation hazard. It's relatively shallow there. The spurs themselves aren't going to be very high. They're going to be plus 2 feet from mean low water. Like I mentioned in the site, they're not designed to really be breakwaters. They're to help stabilize the downdraft side of the groins, help hold the beach, and then also when you have backwash coming down the beach slope, when you have any kind of wave action, it helps hold that sand in place, and more or less create a tombolo there out to the spurs. So that's pretty much it. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone?
Madam Chairwoman, it's nice to see these neighbors working together again for a shoreline solution, and that they're going to employ some nature-based solutions. So staff approves of that.
Is anyone else?
Do you all have any
No, ma'am.
comments?
No comment.
Is anything else?
No, ma'am.
Is anyone in the audience who'd like to say anything? Anyone on the board?
No comment?
No further discussion. I'll entertain a motion.
Move this project be approved as it's presented.
Second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Raise your hand. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda is Vicki Breedlove and Christopher Brown, in care of Joseph Scott.
Yes, ma'am. Joseph Scott, P.O. Box 315, Kilmarnock, Virginia 22482. I'm the agent for the applicant.
Vicki Breedlove and Christopher Brown is requesting permission to remove 5 failed groins and replace with 3 low-profile timber groins, 42 feet long, channelward of mean high water along the Rappahannock River, located off Virginia State Highway 774 Granville Bay Road, tax map number 15-1-107 and 107A, PMRC number 24-0367. Go ahead.
Yep, again, replacing old structures. There are 5 groins there currently. The 2 smaller groins have been covered with sand for years. If you look back at it in the satellite imagery, you'll see that. But anyway, the storms, the blow from that direction on the river there has kind of washed out some of that sand, coupled with the fact that some of those groins are in pretty bad shape or even almost non-existent. So they're just going to go back with replace the 3 longer groins. It's a little bit more, the spacing of just replacing the 3 is more in line with what's typically done or allowed or preferred. So the 2 smaller groins will just be either removed or they'll just be left there, because the goal is to get all that to fill back up again. And these won't be stone, so.
Anything with you,
No, thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Alex?
No comment.
No comment. VMRC has no comment.
I'm sorry.
VMRC has no comment.
Okay. Anyone on board?
So how are you going to stabilize that washout? That's not part of the project, I understand that, but
That's not part of their plan right now. I think they're hoping that it will kind of develop on its own through the equilibrium, hopefully brought back by bringing the sand in there.
yeah.
There's no guarantee. And they know that, so,
It's coming down.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that backshore bulkhead,
If
it's
that's-
arguable it needs to be replaced, but at the same time, most of it is happening over top of it and behind it, so.
Well, if it's not part of this application.
Right.
Right,
There's
it's
no
not part
use
of this.
discussing it at this point.
We'll be seeing it again.
Is anyone else wish to make any comments? Audience? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Okay, approve as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor signify by your right hand, okay? That ends the application process. And we'll go into other business. And with that, Olivia, do you want to present that or?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I spoke with Don Gill, County Administrator, regarding getting a regular member on the board to replace Bruce Julian, and he said what the Wetlands Board needs to do is have a vote, and you had recommended Hunter Sled as the longest-serving alternate member at this time. So what we would need to accomplish that would be a vote from the Wetlands Board, moving Hunter Sled as a regular, or approving Hunter Sled as a regular member instead of an alternate, and then that would be forwarded to the Board of Supervisors. So if you all would like to take that vote, we could do that.
Is that agreeable with everyone? Okay. Then we have to have a vote.
Yep, so you just need a motion on the floor.
Okay, we got to make a motion to appoint Hunter Sled as a regular member of the board. Do I hear that?
Enthusiastically suggest Hunter Sled be added to the board.
Okay. Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, that takes care of that. Am I
All right.
right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Right.
We did have another piece of business I'd like to
Okay,
discuss with you.
At this time, we need to approve the February minutes.
Okay?
Do I have a motion to do that?
I'll approve the minutes, but I'm not sure that everybody was here can vote on them.
No, that's right, so, but we do have a quorum, Will
Yes.
and Andy and I. So we have a quorum, we have three.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, and you don't, according to the code, there's nothing that states that you had to have been here to get those minutes
Okay,
approved.
so he can vote.
Yes, you can.
Okay, I just want to be clear. Okay. And it's been, Cecil, you made the motion to
Yes.
approve them. Second, please.
Second.
Everybody? Okay, 5-0, approve the minutes. Okay,
Madam Chairwoman, we've got business in tabled actions and business in other business. So where would you like to start?
it doesn't make any difference.
Okay, for tabled actions, we had the Don Brown permit request. I just wanted to update you that at this point, there's still no resolution on the riparian case that's in litigation now. We also are waiting on comments from VIM, so that was not added to the docket for this meeting. So that takes care of tabled actions for this meeting.
But that you taking care of,
Yes, ma'am. As soon as we have those pieces of information that we need, we can bring that back to you.
okay?
Okay?
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna do you wish to take care of this?
I can, or you
I
can.
appreciate it.
Okay.
But I'm not sure I can.
Okay, so we have some other business. Alex Green has accepted a position with an environmental consulting firm. So he will be leaving us. This is his last Wetlands Board meeting. So we're sad to see him go, but we wish him well. So thank you so much for your service to the Wetlands Board, Alex.
Thank you all.
Olivia has it.
Okay. Just check.
Yep.
Well, I don't know what to say. We'll miss you.
I'll miss you too.
Thanks, Alex.
Is there any further business?
No, ma'am.
Well, if there's no further business, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 10:01. I don't think we did bad in time-wise.